binge eating, I looked up a definition. If I look down, I have a notebook here with notes that I took. But binge eating definition is consumption of large quantities of food in a short period of time, typically as a part of an eating disorder. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. And today is another nutrition, fitness, health video. I don't know what to call it. I'm excited to learn more and more about this health and to learn about fitness and to be able to share it with you guys as I learn you guys can learn as well. And I am really wanting to lose weight, so this is going to be a long journey and there's a lot of things we're going to learn, but I like the idea that I can learn with you guys. And if something I say in this video is wrong, please correct me in the comments below. Let's be nice, of course. I am not a nutritionist at all. I am just learning this as I go as well. I also have all the links of everything I looked up down below for you guys to read the full articles. So I am not a nutritionist and I've never been diagnosed with an eating disorder, but that's because I don't really go to the doctor. I don't have insurance, so I don't go to the doctor. So just remember, I'm not an expert. I just went online, I researched for like 2 hours and wrote down some points. So keep doing your own research and check it out. Talk to some people that you might know if you experience any of this. I am just kind of giving you guys what I've read. So binge eating, I looked up a definition. If I look down, I have a notebook here with notes that I took. But binge eating definition is consumption of large quantities of food in a short period of time, typically as a part of an eating disorder. So that's binge eating. Compulsive eating, I'm going to give you guys the definition of compulsive eating because I used to think they were two different things. So an eating disorder characterized by continuous or frequent excessive eating over which an individual does not feel he or she has control, and which leads to weight gain and obesity. So I looked up to see if eating disorder, compulsive eating and binge eating disorder were similar, were they the same, or were they actually different? And most pages told me they were very similar and there's not really a lot of differences. And according to eatingdisorders.org UK, there is not much of a difference between the two. So some symptoms of BED, which is binge eating disorder, is feeling you're eating out of control, eating when you're hungry, eating rapidly on a binge episode, which I tend to do that a lot, eating until uncomfortably full, eating alone or in secret, which I used to do that as well. I used to wait till everybody left the kitchen to eat because I didn't want to be told I was eating too much, or I would get up at midnight and eat like 2 sandwiches and whatever else I found. Feeling sad, depressed, and ashamed about your eating, which always happens after an episode. If any of you suffer from that, it technically does. Frequently dieting, possibly without weight loss, which happens to me all the time. I'm always exercising, I'm always not dieting very much. I just try to eat as healthy as I can, and I never lose any weight. Physical symptoms, fluctuations in weight both up and down, stomach cramps, and difficulties concentrating, which I really suffer from all of them. I have constant stomach cramps thinking I'm going to get my period and I don't. Fluctuations in weight up and down. I'm always up and down between 164 and 170. I'm always between there, never anything below. And then I always have I just have a hard time concentrating. As you guys might have seen some of my videos, I tend not to focus on the camera as much. Okay, so people struggling with bulimia will eat similar to how people with binge eating disorder eat. The only difference is they compensate with laxatives or vomiting. People with BED will try to go on a diet by going on restrictive, no no eating this, no eating that, but they never prevail. Nothing actually changes, and it tends to cause more episodes. The number one tip they say is to, if you have any of these symptoms, go talk to your doctor or your medical health provider. But if you can't afford, or you just can't go because you're embarrassed or whatever it is, talk to someone you love, someone that is near to you, and tell them what you're going through, what you think you're going through, and see what they can tell you, what support they can give you. So what causes BED? There's a lot of different things that causes BED. Genetics. So people are more likely to develop an eating disorder if someone in their family has had one in the past. The second one is mental health disorder. So BED is linked with depression and personality disorders. Many people with BED feel negatively about themselves and their bodies. Third one is emotional problems. People with binge eating disorder have difficulty coping with emotions. Sufferers say that feeling stress, anger, boredom, and worry can lead to binge eating. So the fifth one is history of dieting. So many people with BED diet regularly and have been doing so since childhood. Periods of calorie restriction or the restriction of certain foods often precede binging episodes. History of food issues. Painful childhood experiences with food and dieting may also cause BED. Many people with BED remember being mocked or criticized about their weight when they were children. Trauma. And I think trauma is the last one that I saw. Trauma. One study found that many women experience traumatic abuse or difficult life events in the year prior to onset of BED. Events include emotional abuse, such as comments about their weight, and physical abuse, such as fear for their own safety, which when I was young, my parents went through things, and as a child I saw it, as something that I feared and my mom feared, and we both kind of went into the cycle. She kind of slowly veered off. She still has it in the way of if she's stressed, she eats, but I kind of struggled with it more. So these are some certain thoughts and personalities which are characterized with people who have BED, binge eating disorder. So strong desire to be in control, difficulty expressing feelings and needs, perfectionists, like everything has to be perfect, working hard to please others all the time. Some tips I found online for stopping binge eating. Of course, their number one is go see your doctor. So I'm going to try myself as much as I can. I'm going to look online and see if there's any psychologists, any doctors that I can go see for a low price, or maybe find out a financial plan with them, because I do think I need to see a professional to learn more about BED and to see if I'm actually diagnosed with BED or what is going on with me. Track your binges. So that's tip number one. What caused them, what you ate, and how you're feeling. So when I read this, it said to get a journal and to write down every time you have a binge eating episode, write down what you ate, how you were feeling then, what caused you to eat, like what were you doing throughout the day. Because sometimes we don't think that an episode starts because something caused it. Sometimes we don't think about it, and we have to write it down and think about it. Another tip they had was to focus about what you can eat instead of what you can't. So instead of saying, well, I can't have ice cream, I can't have cake, say, today I'm gonna have a really nice salad, or I'm gonna have a really nice pasta dish, and today I'm going to, eat more veggies and more vegetables. So just think of the positives. The next tip is to not try to be perfect about everything. So that's one that I've totally thrown out the window already, but it was really hard. When you have something you can't control in your life, you try to control everything else. And it's true about any obsessive thing in your life. People who are obsessed with something, they try to control everything else, and they're usually very successful. So I'm not somebody who's very successful at controlling things, so I was always having a hard time with being perfect. So I decided to throw it out the window I still care about things, you know, like I care about how I look, but I don't care what others see when they look at me. If I leave the house feeling good, I won't let a comment get me down. Stay off the scale. The number does not indicate your self-worth, and I think that one's a very important one. People get caught up on what the scale says, and I think that it's just not worth it. As you guys know, I'm not getting on the scale. Maybe I'll get like every other month or something on the scale, but it's mostly about measurements of my body. That's kind of what I like to do. A really weird one, because everywhere I looked, people were saying to have a ditch day so you don't feel like you're saying no to like desserts and stuff. I always felt like that was so wrong. As someone who has an addiction to food, I always thought that was the weirdest thing, because you're trying to let go of these things that you know aren't good for you, right? And you're trying to have a good positive attitude, like the other tip where it was like, and I saw these two tips side by side, okay? So there was tip where it was like, look at the things you can eat, right? And then the next tip was like, have a cheat day. Have a day where you eat all of this stuff. And to me, it was so dumb. To me, it was not a thing that seemed to work for someone who has a food addiction. Like, you're just going to have that taste in your mouth and you're going to want it for days and days. I do that. There was a whole week where I only ate spaghetti, and it was like really bad spaghetti, really bad for you, and it was just so much of it, and I would eat it all by myself. And like, I would do that every day for a whole week. So I know this doesn't actually work, but to see it actually, you know, and this is what the page said. I don't remember which page it was, but I have all the links down below. Have a positive support. So it's important to have at least one person. If in your life nobody is really a good support, nobody believes you, I say go online, go on Facebook to group chats, go look up somebody who's dealing or has dealt with this eating disorder on YouTube. I'm making this video for people out there who maybe have not been diagnosed, but feel like this is something they're going through. You know, go do that. Oh, there's turkeys walking at my house. It's so cute. Okay. Focus on actions, not outcomes. So don't think of what it's going to be like at the end when you finally beat bed. Do things that are going to beat bed, you know. Do things that are going to help you, that are actually going to succeed. I'm sorry, I'm very distracted. There's turkeys walking in my backyard, and they're so cute. Be patient. Be kind to yourself. Know that you are amazing, and you are amazing at this moment right now. Lastly, the last tip they had was don't focus on fat loss, but focus on positivity. So don't think of what you'll look like when you lose all the weight, which is a really hard one I struggle with, but think of how strong you'll be, how much energy you'll have, how brave and confident you will become. So that was all I had for binge eating disorder. I hope this helps anybody who feels like they're struggling with a food addiction. It took me a long time to realize that I had a food addiction. I thought it was just, I'm fat, so I have to eat because I have a bigger body. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome week, and remember to bring some positivity in your life, and remember that there's people out there who actually care for you and are rooting for you. So I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye.